kettlebell. Warm up is exactly the same as what we did last week. So you've got 10 of the dead bugs, 5 of the bird dogs on each side, 10 of the kind of weird T-spine rotations, and then 20 mountain climbers. So the dead bugs, just quickly go through them, what you're doing. So the dead bugs was the one, flatten your back, legs at 90 degrees, arms straight up, and then you want to stretch out, opposite arm, opposite leg, and then come back up to the middle. So you'll do 10 in total, and then your bird dogs was pretty much the exact opposite. On all fours, again, opposite arm, opposite leg, big stretch out, try and keep your balance so you don't fall over. As you're bringing your knees in and your elbow in, just tap your elbow on your knee, and then big stretch out. So you do 5 on one side, and then 5 on the other side. The T-spine rotations is basically one hand behind your head. Try and keep your shoulders level, so stay in that same kind of on all fours. You want to twist around, try and get your left elbow to your right knee, and then come back up. 10 on one side, and again, right hand behind your head, elbow into your knee. If you need to sit back, if you're feeling quite tight around your kind of thoracic, around your middle of your back, you can sit your hips back a little bit, but just try and get the elbow into your knee. And then your mountain climbers, 20 reps. Nice and fast with your feet. I think last week we might have done a double count. This week, don't do a double count. So 1 rep is just 1 leg. So you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just count each leg movement as a rep. So you've got 10 of the dead bugs, 5 of the bird dogs each side, 10 of the little rotation, T-spine rotations, and then 20 mountain climbers. Do that twice, and then I'll explain what the workout is. Okay? That sun is going to brighten me. Let's go up a little bit. Okay, so when you're ready, just pop yourselves on your back. So it's legs at 90 degrees, big stretch out, opposite arm, opposite leg. And then just keep trying to push your lower back down into the floor. So if you try and make sure you keep your feet and your hand off the floor, but push your lower back down. So you need to think about trying to tilt your pelvis. And then just keep your arm and the leg that's not moving. Just keep it absolutely still. That's a great start. I've lost count already. It's got to be about 10. Once you've done 10, roll yourself onto the front so it's on all fours. Knees underneath your hips, wrists underneath your shoulders. Again, big stretch out, opposite arm, opposite leg. Tuck your elbow into your knee. Big stretch out. And then tuck in 5 on each side. And then once you've done your 5, just pop one hand behind your head, keep your elbow out to the side. If you do the left side first, try and get your left elbow to your right knee. Or if you do the right side, right elbow to your left knee. And then 10 reps on each one, on each side. Then once you've done 10, just switch sides. You might find one side kind of moves a little bit better than the other. And then once you've done 10 on both sides, into your press up position, for 20 mountain climbers. And then once you've done your 20, roll yourselves back on your backs. And then you've got 10 more of those weird dead bug things. Again, when you get to these dead bugs again, just make sure you tilt your pelvis. So think about drawing your belly button into your rib cage. And then once you've done those 10, back into those bird dogs again. So 5 on each side. For the bird dogs, big stretch out. And then once you've done your 5 bird dogs each side, you've got the rotations, those T-spine rotations. So then hand behind your head. Try and get your elbow to your opposite knee. So 10 on each side for these rotations. Just make sure after each one you finish back to your chest being parallel to the floor, elbow out to the side. And then once you've done your 10, back into your 20 mountain climbers. Okay. Sure, I brought some water in somewhere. Okay, so your workout. There's only one exercise. Well, I said there's not one exercise. That'll be a really boring workout. There's one exercise that's slightly different. Take a little bit of tutoring on it. First exercise out the floor. You're gonna do 12 push-ups. Okay, so don't really mind how you do them. If you want to do them on your knees, you can do. If you try not to do this with your bum stuck up in the air, if you set yourself up, move that out of the way so you can see. If you set yourself up on your toes, even if you're doing them on your knees, bring your shoulders past your wrists. So as you're lowering down, you've got your hands level with your chest and not with your shoulders. So even if you're doing them on your knees, rock yourself forward, so shoulders past your wrists, put your knees down, and then try and lower your bum at the same time rather than elbows out to the side. So you're going to do 12 push-ups. Your second exercise, you're going to do 12 single arm rows on each side. So it's a big wide stance. If you're doing the right side, you want to rest your forearm on your knee. Just make sure you've got your knee over your ankles. And then you're just going to pull the kettlebell back from underneath your shoulders, back into your hip. So aim for your hip. Rather than pulling up to your chest, because you'll end the ball hunched over, keep your shoulders back nice and flat, and pull back into the hip. Once you've done 12 on one side, just switch your feet around, exactly the same thing, but obviously you're changing. That's straightforward. So 12 push-ups, 12 single arm rows on each side. The next one, this is the slightly confusing one. You're going to do reverse lunges, but as you do the lunge, once you're in this bottom position down here, you're going to add a halo into it, which is basically keeping the kettlebell. You'll loop the kettlebell right around the back of the head. After each lunge, the kettlebell's going to come back to the floor, so you need to make sure, I don't know if you can see this, make sure the handle's facing out to the side, so you've not got the handle that way, because there's going to be a way of picking the kettlebell up, which dictates which leg you move back. So you reverse lunge, put it on the side. Just make sure when you step back, don't cross your feet over. So we do it this way. Don't do that with your feet, because when you try and lunge down, you're going to be all over the place. So if you start with your feet hip width apart, make sure when you step back, either step straight back so your feet are still hip width apart, or step out to the side a little bit. So when you lunge down, you've got this space in between your feet. So it just makes it easier on your balance. This is the trick of it, so it's actually a little bit confusing. You're going to squat down. If the kettlebell's this way, if you're going to grab it with your right hand first, you want to grab the left corner of the handle, okay? So you're going to go opposite corner, and then you're going to curl the kettlebell up. So you grab it so it's bottoms up, okay? So you'll be squatting down. So you stood up, squat down, grab the kettlebell that way, curl it up. Whichever hand you grab the kettlebell with, that's the leg that you're going to step back with, okay? So if I'm grabbing right hand, I'm curling it up, step back with your right leg. Doesn't make much difference which way around you do the halo, but once you've done the halo, you're coming back up, kettlebell's going to go back down, then you're going to grab it with your left hand. Again, you grabbed it with your left hand, so you're going to step back with the left leg, and then do the halo, and then step back up. Kettlebell goes back down, and then you do the right side, okay? So that's the only one that's going to be slightly confusing. So again, feet hip width apart, squat down if you do the right side first. So you're going to grab the kettlebell right corner, curl it up so it's bottoms up, step back with the right leg, do your halo, step back forward, pop it back down with your right hand, grab it with your left hand, curl it up, step back, do your halo, step back in, pop it back down with your left hand, okay? I guarantee you'll get completely confused by that. If you struggle kind of getting to grips with how to pick the kettlebell up, if you just want to hold it bottoms up, and you can just hold it at your chest and just do your lunges that way. Okay, as long as you step back with alternating feet, or alternating legs rather, I don't really mind. It just makes it a little bit more tricky if you're trying to pick it up off the floor. So you can do either or on that. Now that's 12 in total. Alternate your lunges, so that'd be 6 on each side. After you've done those, you're then going to do 24, just normal, as normal as swings are, but 24 two-handed swings. So hinge at the hips, make sure you push your bum back, and then just try and straighten your legs up and drive the hips forward as fast as you can. And that's it. That's all you're doing. So you've got 12 push-ups, 12 rows on each side, 12 with the reverse lunges, and then when you're at the bottom with your knee on the floor, the halo, and then 24 swings. So you're going to do it as an AMRAP, and you're going to do it for 24 minutes. So after you've done the 24 swings, once you're ready, just go back into your 12 push-ups. Okay, so you're trying to get through as many rounds or reps as you can in the 24 minutes. It's probably going to be the longest 24 minutes of your life with all these lunges, isn't it? So 12 push-ups, 12 rows each side, 12 of the alternating lunges with the halo. Again, just make sure you switch legs on those when you're doing them. And then 24 swings to finish one round. So it's 24 minutes. Get through as many rounds as you can. It's going to be a long 24 minutes. Okay, we'll go in 10 seconds. I'll keep you posted where you're up to. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So 12 push-ups. So again, just make sure you got your chest level with your hands. Once you've done your 12 push-ups, whichever side you want to do first. You've got 12 rows. So again, if you just make sure you're keeping everything still, the only thing that should be moving should be your arm. So you can do 12 on one side. Then you're going to turn around, do 12 on the other side. And obviously just switch your feet around. And then once you've done your 12, you've got those weird lunges. So if you just want to hold the kettlebell up at your chest, make it easier on yourself for the lunge, or if you want to start from the floor, whichever side, whichever corner you grab it with. I'm going to step back with the same side leg. Again, it doesn't really matter which way you kind of do the halo, as long as you do 12 in total. And then if you are going from the floor, whichever side you pick up with, just remember to step back with that side. Oh, wow, I keep putting lunges in. I hate lunges. And then once you've done your 12 lunges, you've got 24 swings. So again, when you get to the swings, knees still, hinge at the hips, relax your upper body, just drive the hips through, nice and fast. So again, 24 swings. Fast, driving those hips through. So that one round took about 3.5 minutes. Oh, this is going to be a lot of rounds. So when you're ready, you're going to go back into 12 push-ups. So again, however you're doing, if you're doing them on your knees or on your toes, just make sure you bring your shoulders forward on that setup. So you're always keeping those hands level with your chest. Once you've done the push-ups, 12 rows each side again. So again, big wide stance. Just keep your knee over your ankle. Again, the only thing that should be moving should be your arms, so just keep your shoulders back nice and flat. Now, once you're done, just switch sides around. So again, 12 on each side for the rows. And then once you've done your 12 rows, back onto those lunges with the halo. So again, if you want to make it easier, hold the kettlebell, just hold it up at your chest. If you want to make it a little bit harder, start from the floor each time. So again, it doesn't really matter which way round you do the halo. You could do it the same way or just alternate the ways. Just make sure if you're starting from the floor, make sure you squat down, don't just lean forward. And then just keep that kettlebell nice and close to your head. And then just make sure when you're lunging back, you can just keep those feet apart. I've completely lost count again. And that was 10. And then again, once you've done those lunges, back onto the 24 two-handed swings. Oh man. I can't be the only person that hates lunges. So again, you want to be nice and snappy, driving those hips forward in the swings. If your knees, that might drift forward a little bit. If your knees drift forward, just think about popping them back. And once you've done your 24, that's another round down. Oh, it's open the window. So again, when you're ready, back into 12 push-ups. So 12 push-ups, 12 rows each side, 12 lunges in total with the halo, and 24 swings. You're just coming up to 16 minutes left. So again, big wide stance on the rows when you get to them. And just keep the back nice and flat and shoulders back. Probably going to feel it pulling on your biceps a little bit. You're probably going to feel it. Should get it on your back as well. So 12 push-ups, 12 rows, 12 your lunges, and then 24 swings. Oh, these lunges. So again, if you want to make it easier, just hold the kettlebell up at your chest. So again, on the halo part, just keep that kettlebell really close to your head. So if you can see yourself in the camera when that kettlebell's behind the back of your head, you shouldn't really be able to see it. Unless you've got a really small head and a massive kettlebell. Oh, my legs. Again, on those. Oh, I forgot what I was going to say. Again, once you've done those lunges, 12 swings, 24 swings. Get nice straight legs at the top of that swing. Then you can relax your arms off. Doesn't matter if your arms are bent or whether you're doing it straight arm, just try not to lift the kettlebell with your shoulders. Okay, you've got 12 minutes left. So again, when you're ready, back into the push-ups. 12 push-ups. Oh, man. Again, once you've done those push-ups, 12 rows each side. So again, big wide stance. Try and keep your arm into your sides, try and keep the elbow in. So again, once you've done your 12, switch sides. And then once you've done the 12 rows, back onto lunges. So again, if you want to make it easier, just keep that kettlebell up at your chest. So you want to hold it bottoms up, loop around the back of the head. I just remember what it was I was going to say before. If you're starting from the floor, obviously your feet are going to be roughly kind of shoulder width or hip width apart. Make sure when you're putting the kettlebell back down, don't drop it on your feet. So if you keep those feet kind of hip width or shoulder width apart, and you put the kettlebell back down to the floor, it should be kind of in between your feet. Again, if you are going from the floor, whichever hand pick the kettlebell up with, remember you want to grab the opposite corner. You want to step back, same side leg. And then once you've done those 12 lunges, you're back onto your 24 swings. Let's do this way. Oh man. Let's go fast with those hips. Relax with your arms and shoulders. And then your breathing should kind of tie in with the movement. So you should be inhaling as the kettlebell's coming down between your legs. So you're bracing, then exhaling on the way up. Whew. Oh man. So once you've done those 24 swings, again, you're back into the 12 push-ups. So then 12 push-ups, 12 rows, each side. 12 lunges in total, and then 24 swings. Again, just make sure on those push-ups, as you're lowering down, you've got those hands level with your chest, not with your shoulders. I don't know about the rest of you, but it's so hot. Again, 12 rows on each side when you get to them. So then start from underneath your shoulder, aim for your hip. Obviously don't whack yourself in the hip with the kettlebell, that would be pretty stupid. Then once you're done your 12, switch it over. Probably going quicker than what I am. And then once you've done your 12 rows on each side, you're back onto those lunges. And then finish with the swings. So again, if you want to make it easier on the lunges, less kind of coordination and less thinking, just hold the kettlebell up at your chest. And then if you are picking up from the floor, I do it similar to what I'm doing. Stand up after each one. So it's just going to take any pressure off your lower back, which is probably going to be aching. And then once you've done the lunges, you've got your 24 swings. Is that 10 or 12? I always seem to lose the ability to count when it comes to lunges. So when you're ready, 24 swings. If you're ahead of me, just keep repeating everything. So 12 push-ups, 12 rows each side, 12 lunges with a halo, 24 swings. Let's get nice straight legs on the top of the swing. Make sure you finish with the hips all the way forward, but try not to lean back, just stand up nice and straight, nice and tall. Oh. Okay, got just under 3 minutes left. Oh man, so 12 push-ups, 12 rows each side, 12 lunges, 24 swings. So again, when you get to the lunges, the rows, start underneath your shoulder, pull back to the hip. 12 on each side for the rows. So 12 on each side for the rows. Whew. You've got 90 seconds left. So if you manage to get through the swing, so you just keep yourselves going. I'll do well to get through this next lot of lunges. Last minute. Oh. $30 seconds. Oh. Last 20 seconds. Oh. Last 10. 3, 2, 1. Oh, and relax. Oh man. Oh. Oh, I'm so tired now. Oh. Okay, we'll have a little stretch out. If you've got some water, if it's as hot where you are as it is here, just have a little bit of water. I'm sure this front room is gonna, all the training that's going on in it, I'm sure it's gonna absolutely stink at some point. Oh. Okay, so flatten your backsides, grab your heels, so try not to grab your toes and then just arch your upper back. Grab your heels and then just walk your feet away as far as you can, just keeping the chest down as low as possible. So it doesn't really matter if your legs are still bent. If you're keeping that chest down, you're still going to get it on your hamstrings, and it'll take the stretch away from your back. You might get it on your lower back a little bit, but it should take it away off your upper back. Now, if you slowly come out of that, if you've got any issues with your knees, just bring the sole of your foot on the inside of your thigh, but leave your left leg out in front. If you've got no problem with your knees, just bring your right leg kind of around to 90 degrees or as narrow as you can. Bend the leg, left leg at the knee. Again, just shift your rib cage over your thigh. Keep your chest down, and just try and straighten that foot up, straighten the leg up as much as you can. So you should again just feel it on that hamstring, left hamstring. And then if you slowly come out of that, just bring your right foot out to the side. So if you split your legs as far as is comfortable, make sure you're pointing the toes straight up. Clash your hands together, start over one leg, keep your butt cheeks down, so keep your hips down, and just balance yourself across the other leg. So you're going to feel it on the hamstrings, And then you should get it on the inside of your thighs as well, some of your adductors. And just try and reach a little bit further on each bounce, just be a little bit gentle on the bounce. And if you bring your legs back together, and then you want to leave the right leg out in front again. Any problem with your knee, just bring your foot on the inside of your leg. But if you can, bring it around the back. You're not sitting on your foot, but just place your foot next to your bum. Bend the right leg at the knee. Shift your ribcage over your thigh, and then just try and straighten that leg up as much as you can. And just keep that chest down. Then if you slowly come out of that, leave your right leg in front. Come into your kneeling lunge position. Just make sure you've got a box between your thigh and your calf. And then if you pick your left foot up, just pull your heel in. You should feel it stretching on your quads. Try not to lean over your right leg. Try and stay as upright as possible. If you can't feel it pulling on the left kind of quad, left thigh, just let your hips and your knee kind of drift forward a little bit, but just try not to lean. You'll kind of switch off the stretch if you can lean over. So stay nice and upright. And then slowly come out of that and let that foot snap round. Switch your legs over. Then create that box. This time lift your right foot up. Again, pull your heel in, try and stay nice and upright. You should feel it on your quad. Again, if you're not, just lean forward a little bit. You might have one side a little bit tighter than the other. Again, just try not to lean over that left leg. And if you slowly come out of that, just bring your knees right underneath your hips. Leave your bum stuck up in the air. Big stretch out your arms. And then just sink your chest and your chin down. So if you get your chest as low down to the mat or the floor as you can, and then just look at where your hands are. So rather than looking at the mat, actually look at your hands. And then from there, if you slowly come out of that, just bring your hands underneath your shoulders. You can kind of leave your knees and your legs where they are. And then just drop your hips down and forward. So if you look up at your ceiling, you should feel a bit of a stretch on your abs a little bit. If your back's a little bit tight, you can have a little look over each shoulder, just stretch your back out. And then if you curl your toes on the floor, leave your hands where they are, just lift your hips, and then just sit back onto your heels. You can just relax that lower back. And if you come back forward, then everything stays where it is, just drop your hips back forward. And if you look up, you should feel it on your abs. And again, just lift the hips, sit back onto the heels. Man, we're done. Oh. Another one down, one left.